There is a secret so close to us that it becomes almost painfully obvious, a power so intense, so transformative, that it has been demonized, hidden, and distorted throughout history. Not because it is dangerous in itself, but because it brings human beings face to face with their own divinity. This power has many names: Kundalini, serpent fire, vital energy, but one of the most concealed and misunderstood paths to awaken this force is sexual alchemy. From ancient Egypt to Tibetan monasteries, from Hermetic texts to Tantric scriptures, an invisible thread connects those who have studied this path: the art of turning raw desire into conscious, creative energy. It's the ability to attract, manifest, and even shape reality, not through suppression or denial, but through deep inner mastery. But if this energy holds such potential, why has sexuality become shrouded in fear and shame? Why has the temple of the body been turned into a place of guilt? When this energy is not wasted but consciously channeled and elevated, it becomes a source of profound transformation. What we often search for, love, prosperity, spiritual awakening, may not be outside of us at all, but in how we engage with the fire within. Since the beginning of human civilization, sexuality has been regarded as both divine and dangerous. Myths across cultures have equated sexual energy with fire, an uncontrollable, sacred force. Prometheus stealing fire from the gods wasn't just about literal flame, but about bringing humanity the power to create, to transform, and for that, he was eternally punished. The myth reflects an ancient truth: access to this inner fire was always considered the privilege of gods and those brave enough to challenge them. The ancients didn't separate the erotic from the spiritual. In the temples of Isis, in tantric rituals, in Dionysian ceremonies, the body was not sinful. It was a living temple, and the union of opposites during the sexual act mirrored the union of heaven and earth. Masters of the old traditions understood the dual nature of sexual energy. It could enslave through addiction or liberate through awareness. In Hermeticism, this is symbolized by the caduceus of Hermes, two serpents coiled around the spine, representing energy that can either sleep or awaken to divinity. Over time, however, this knowledge was suppressed. Institutions learned that people who mastered their own fire needed no intermediaries to connect with the divine, so they turned pleasure into guilt, desire into sin, and the sacred body into something shameful. The fire that was meant to rise as light began to dissipate into the world as unconscious craving. What was once resurrection of energy became mere repression, but the mystery teachings never died. In Egypt, initiates were trained to awaken the dormant energy and channel it upward through the spine, transforming it into vision, intuition, and spiritual power. This energy, when mastered, became not only the force of creation, but the fuel for higher consciousness. To possess fire is not enough. One must know how to use it. That is the essence of transmutation. It's not about repression, but the dense into the subtle without destroying its essence. Sexual transmutation means not losing energy through unconscious acts, but consciously accumulating and redirecting it. Taoist teachings describe how this energy can move through specific channels, nourishing the organs and connecting to higher states of mind. Tantric practices teach the same. Through breath, visualization, and discipline, one can guide the energy from the base of the spine to the crown of the head, awakening dormant centers and transforming instinct into enlightenment. Modern thinkers like Wilhelm Reich saw the repression or loss of sexual energy as the root of neurosis. He spoke of a middle path: conscious integration. Desire doesn't need to be killed, it needs to be purified. The sexual alchemist doesn't flee from desire but faces it fully, learning to harness its power. Like a dam directing water through turbines to generate electricity, the alchemist channels desire into creation. This isn't about celibacy nor indulgence. It's about consciousness. The physical act is not forbidden, but it must be intentional. When the act is conscious, it becomes a ritual. Energy is preserved, transformed, and uplifted. As this energy rises, it activates each level of the self. Each chakra becomes an octave of transformation. The journey is not easy. It demands patience, repetition, inner strength. But as the ancient masters said, this fire, when controlled, does not consume. It illuminates. And then, something extraordinary begins to happen. This inner fire becomes magnetism. It radiates outward as a field of attraction, not metaphorically but energetically. The human heart emits an electromagnetic field far stronger than the brain. Research has shown that this field interacts with others, creating a silent communication between beings. When sexual energy is transmuted, it charges this field. The result is personal gravity, a subtle power that draws people, opportunities, and abundance. Mystics have always known this. Taoists called it magnetic virtue. Hermeticists referred to it as astral light, a radiant force shaped by thoughts, feelings, and intentions. When powered by transmuted sexual energy, it reshapes reality itself. The paradox is profound. The more we seek externally, the more things evade us. But when we overflow from within, reality responds. Sexual alchemists were not attractive because of looks, but because they radiated a powerful presence. This is the power of being so whole, so aligned, that the universe reorganizes itself around you, Creative energy, when not wasted, becomes inspiration. Desire, when refined, becomes vision. Great minds like Nikola Tesla were aware of this. Tesla avoided physical relationships not out of repression, but because he saw sexual energy as the fuel of genius. He used it to create, not to escape. It's not about abstinence. It's about presence. In the moment of intimacy, if one remains aware, the act becomes sacred. Desire becomes a portal, not a distraction. The true loss isn't in the act itself, but in losing consciousness during it. When energy escapes without awareness, it depletes. But when it is infused with intention, it nourishes and transforms. Energy, once transmuted, begins to vibrate at higher levels. It touches everything, and like ripples on a lake, it comes back. Amplified in sexual alchemy, your desires gain power not just because you want them, but because they are energized with your essence. That's why traditions warn, purify your heart before intensifying your fire, because this energy amplifies all light or shadow. It will empower whatever you carry inside. Ultimately, magnetism is not a trick to get what you want. It's a natural result of becoming who you are meant to be. The world reflects your inner vibration, and sexual alchemy is the path of raising that vibration to its highest frequency. This force cannot be faked, it cannot be bought, it is cultivated, and when you carry it, the world feels it. Because the universe, at its core, dances around the one who has become a sun,